Hey everybody, this is Salar and you guys are welcome to Smart Code and this exciting course on C Sharp. In our last lecture, we talked about if statements. We learned to code them in several different ways and I must say that was a long and very comprehensive lecture. So if statements are used to perform selections, a program can take different alternatives or do different things. However, in addition to the if statements, there is another tool that can let a program select different options. And that tool is called switch. So we have two different ways to select between different alternatives, if statements and switch statement. Switch can be used instead of the if statements in several different scenarios. But switch is not a replacement to the if statements because they are two different tools and they work on different types. If statements work on Boolean, whereas switch matches patterns. In addition, switch has some limitations. For example, you cannot process object type directly in the switch statement, and you can't even write and evaluate complex logical expressions. However, simple and straightforward logical expressions can be used in the switch using relational and logical pattern matching. So we are going to learn to work with switch case statement, which is a pattern matching tool. It lets you perform selections and you can use three different patterns: constant, relational, and logical. So we are going to learn all of them and write many practical examples. So let's start with the constant pattern matching as well as study the structure of the switch statement. I'll code the statement first and then I'll explain it to you. So here you see the switch statement in the selection mechanism. Let's look at the structure. The structure is pretty simple. We start the statement using the keyword switch followed by two parentheses. Inside the parentheses, we pass an expression or a variable. And the switch has its own block or the body, which is marked using the curly braces. Now, inside the switch body, we code different cases. The value which is passed to the switch statement is compared itself with the cases. And when the match is found, so the statements inside that case are executed. Now you see, to the switch statement, we are sending a variable. We are passing a variable with value 10. So in this case, we'll get a match here. The value 10 matches with the case value 10. And that means the statement only inside the case 10 is now selected by the program. So if I run the program, you will see this output. At the same time, we have to break every case using the break keyword. The break keyword is important. It terminates the execution of the program as soon as the matching is found. For example, in our program, we found a match here. This one is the output. Now, stop the execution of the program. So we don't want our program to go further and investigate all the cases. Break is also the part of the syntax, and that means you can't simply just forget it. If I remove it from here, I will get the error. So we have three cases: case 10, case 20, and case 30. But at the end, we have a default case. The default case is for default. When there is no matching here, then this one is executed. So this is how switch statement gonna work. So let me run the program and you will see number is 10 in the output. And here you see the output from the case 10. If I change the number to, let's say, 30, then we'll get a match here and that would be the output. And instead of 30, if I pass another number, let's say 50, now there won't be any match and you will see the default. Let me show you. And here you see the default message. Number is unknown. Let's now move on and learn some practical variation. The matching is called constant pattern matching because each case contains a constant value, and that value must have the same data type which is passed to the switch statement. So I'm passing the integer type and that's why I'm coding integer values. And you can have values from all the primitive data types like string, character, floating point, etc. In addition, you can also have enum and nullable types. So let's code another example with a different data type. Let's say a program that reads an alphabet and tells if the alphabet is vowel or consonant. So the program is going to look like. So here we have the program that tells if the alphabet is vowel or not. And now we are working with the character type and so the values in all the cases. So let's run the program. And if I provide a vowel, I will see the vowel. Let's run it again and provide P, which is not a vowel, and I will see consonants. So the program is working, doing selections, and we are getting the right result. But this code can become better. In switch statement, you can even create grouped cases. That means you can group several cases into one if they all are doing the same thing. For example, these 5 cases, as you can see, execute the same statement. So that means we can group these cases. And how do we do that? Let me show you. So here you see the much better version. All these cases are now grouped into one. If any one of them is matched, you will see the output. So let's run the program and check it out. Provide a vowel, and here you see the output, right? So that was an example on character constant matching. You can also pass a string type if you want. Let's have an example before we go further. So here you see an example on string pattern match. The day is the string type and the value is Sunday. So we are going to get a match here and that would be the output. So that was all about the constant pattern matching in the switch statement. Let's now move on to the relational pattern matching. In relational pattern matching, you can use 4 relational operators to compare a result with a constant in the switch statement. And those relational operators are greater than and equal to, less than, and less than and equal to. So these 4 relational operators are allowed to use while creating relational pattern. So let me give you an example so that you get better understanding of it. We have a number, let's say 100, and I pass this number to the switch, and now I will create 2 different cases. So this is called relational pattern matching. We are trying to compare the case with a constant. You're not allowed to use any variable instead of these constants. So now in our case, the number has a value 100 and the 100 is smaller than 500. So that would be the output. So let me run the program and show you the result. And so you see the number is less than 500. And if I provide something greater than 500, that would be the output. And here we say the number is greater than 500. And if you somehow get something else which is not a number, this one would be the output. So here you see simple relational pattern matching can be performed in the switch statement, but not the complex one that we can do with the if statement. There are limitations. Like I said, you cannot replace this constant value with a variable. And one more thing, the relational and the logical pattern matching was introduced in C# 9. So if you're not using C# version 9 or the earlier version of C#, then you won't be able to perform relational pattern matching, right? Now the last one is the logical pattern matching. And this one is interesting. We can create logical patterns using the keyword and, are, and not. So we have three logical pattern matching operators: logical and, are, and the not. Logical and, are, and not work with Boolean value, whereas these three are for logical pattern matching. They can't replace each other. They are two different things. So let me show you an example before we wind up this lecture. And I am thinking to reuse this piece of code. So the logical AND uses the same logic. Both the operands should be true to get a match. Now let's say in the first case, I want to check if the number is greater than or equal to 1. Like number is between 1 to 100. So I would like so if the number provided is between 1 to 100, where 1 and 100 is also included, we will get this match. And if the number, let's say, is greater than 100 but less than or equal to 200, then we are going to get this match. But at the same time, I say I want this match, right? But also I want to exclude a specific number. So I would write and not 150. So this case is gonna match any number from 101 to 200, excluding 150. So the number is 101 to 149 and 151 to 200. So all the numbers in this range gonna get a match here. The last one is the logical OR, and it implements the same OR logic. So I can write a case like to all the numbers greater than 500 or all the numbers less than 0. So the numbers greater than 5 or all the negative numbers gonna get a match here. So it includes number like above 500 and negative. So let's give it a run. The value of the number is 600 and 600 is greater than 500. So we got a match here, and that would be the output. Let me show you. And so you see the match above 500 or negative. Let's change the number to any negative value. Let's say -5. Now once again, we're going to get a match in our third case value. This one is going to be true. And so you see the same result as before. And if I change the value to something between 1 to 100, I'm going to get this match. Let's check it out. Let's say the value is 75. And you see the number is between 1 to 100, right? That was this one. And if the value is from 101 to 200 except 150, we're going to get this match. Let's say the value is 149. And here's the output, right? That was this one. And the 150 is not going to get match anywhere, right? So you will see this one in the output. You can change the output like any number. So if we change the value to 150, let's see what's happened. And here's say any number, right? So that was the logical pattern matching. So listeners, in this lecture, we'll learn switch statement with constant relational and logical pattern matching. So do some practice with the switch statement so that you remember its syntax. I'll see you in the next lecture. Thanks for watching.